Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're taking a fascinating turn. We're looking less at world events or technology and more at the technology of living well.
That's a great way to put it.
Our source material today is this really comprehensive set of 12 simple principles. It's almost like a user manual for achieving a sustainably elevated life.
Yeah, and this is a deep dive that's focused, entirely on the practical. The core message here is that a good life, it's not something you just find by accident. It's the result of the consistent, the deliberate accumulation of small positive habits. So our mission is to unpack these 12 rules, group them up thematically, and give you, the listener, knowledge that's immediately actionable.
Something you can actually use.
Exactly. Stuff that can transform everything from your relationships to, well, your personal sense of worth.
And the power of these rules, which I really appreciate, is their simplicity. They don't require you to, quit your job or move to a mountaintop.
Not at all.
They just demand consistency, not complexity. They promise that if you apply these ideas day in and day out, the improvement, it becomes inevitable.
It's really the difference between a sudden burst of motivation that just fizzles out and the quiet power of, say, compounding interest, but applied to your own behavior.
Okay, so where do we start?
Let's start with what we're calling the internal foundation. These are the 4 pillars that deal with integrity, self-management, and self-compassion.
All right, that sounds like the right place to begin. So rule number 1, live with integrity and pride.
Mm-hmm.
This one, for me, immediately brings up the contrast between, the hard, slow work of earning money honestly versus the temptation to take a shortcut.
And that decision has these huge downstream effects. Rather than think of the cost in purely financial terms.
Yeah, what did I lose? What did I gain?
Exactly. But the source reminds us of the true return on integrity. If you earn your way honestly, that success comes with honor and dignity, which is far more valuable than risking your freedom or your peace of mind.
But in the modern world, integrity isn't just about, not stealing something from a store. It's about not taking digital shortcuts or managing your reputation online, honestly. It's standing firm when everyone else is kind of blurring the lines.
It can be emotionally expensive, can it?
It really is.
And that ties directly into how you measure that effort. Because if you're putting in all this internal work to be honorable, you just can't afford to measure your own outcomes against others.
Which brings us to rule 2.
Exactly. Rule 2, compare yourself to yesterday's you, not to others today.
This is the ultimate detox from the comparison culture that's it's everywhere. But tell me, isn't there a risk here? A risk of complacency?
How do you mean?
Well, if my yesterday was, not great and my today is only a tiny bit better, am I really pushing myself?
That's a powerful challenge, but the source kind of addresses it implicitly. The reason external comparison fails is because everyone has a different starting line, a different context.
Right, you can't compare apples and oranges.
You can't. It's like measuring a marathon runner against a sprinter. The results are useless. So the focus on yesterday's years shifts the metric from raw achievement to consistent effort.
So just be better than you were yesterday.
That's it. Even a 1% daily improvement that leads to massive change over a year. It's about incremental, focused effort, not some huge, instant success.
So the goal isn't just being marginally better. It's about building a structure that lets you be better every single day. And that structure, that requires organization.
Precisely. Which brings us to rule 9. Organize your own life before managing others. This is the credibility rule.
Oh, I like that. The credibility rule.
Because if your personal life, your finances, your schedule, your basic health is in chaos, any advice you give to others is just going to ring hollow.
You're asking people to trust a map that you're not even using yourself.
Exactly. You can't counsel effectiveness if you're ineffective.
Yeah.
You have to build that solid personal foundation first. And honestly, it saves you so much energy. Disorganization is incredibly draining.
It's like a mental debt, isn't it?
It is. And while we focus so much on integrity and organization, we often forget Rule 5.
And what's that?
Show yourself the same compassion you show others.
The classic trap. We become the best caregiver for everyone else. We tell our friends, you need a break, you need to eat, go see a doctor.
And then what do?
We look at our own calendar, and those things are the first to get crossed out to make room for somebody else's demands. Why is that so common?
Well, I think caring for others gives you this immediate validation, a sense of purpose. Caring for yourself, that's a delayed internal benefit. It's harder to see.
So what's the application here?
According to the source, it's about formalizing self-care. You have to seriously make time for your physical and mental health. Take all that great advice you give your loved ones and turn it back on yourself.
Treat it like a non-negotiable meeting.
Exactly, a non-negotiable task.
That sets a beautiful internal foundation. Okay, let's let's shift gears. Let's transition into how we interact with the world outside of us. This segment is all about learning, perspective, and vulnerability.
Right. And we start with rule 4. Listen attentively and learn from everyone.
This one requires a big mental shift.
A huge one. The assumption you have to adopt is, well, it's pretty radical. It's that the person speaking to you, no matter who they are, may know something you don't.
They have a piece of data you're missing.
A piece of data and experience and insight. Something that's missing from your map of the world.
And the danger, if you don't think that way, is that you act like the expert in the room, even when you're not. And if you project that, you already know everything.
People just stop talking. They stop sharing their real perspective. That self-assuredness, it just shuts down your opportunity for growth.
So good listening isn't just being quiet.
Not at all. It's active questioning. It's opening doors for them. And that curiosity links directly to how we view challenges, which is rule 3.
What's that one?
Failure's a teacher. Don't obstruct others' learning.
Yes. The anti-helicopter parenting rule. But it applies everywhere, right? To employees, partners.
Friends, everyone, we have this powerful protective urge to shield people we care about from difficulty. But the source insists that the experience gained from facing challenges, even painful ones, provides the most valuable lessons.
The ones that actually stick.
They're the only ones that stick. True, lasting self-confidence isn't given. It has to be earned through competent action in the face of risk.
Okay, but here's the question I had earlier. Where do you draw the line between a necessary lesson and just, a catastrophic failure?
That's the key question.
How do we distinguish between letting someone learn and just letting them ruin their lives?
Well, the source implies the line is between consequence and destruction. You let someone make a bad investment and learn about money. That's a consequence.
Okay.
You intervene if that bad investment means they lose their home and their ability to function. That's destruction. The goal is to allow trial and error in a way that builds them up, not one that takes away their ability to recover.
Allowing for that failure, though, that takes immense vulnerability from the person in charge. Which I guess brings us to Rule 11. Be genuine and accept your flaws.
We all have them. Every single one of us.
Yeah.
And the moment we pretend we don't, we're just hiding this drain on our energy and integrity.
So if you have flaws that are hard to fix right now, you don't just hide them.
No, concealment is the worst response. The key application is, well, it's radical honesty.
So you just communicate them. You say, hey, I struggle with X, or I know I'm not good at Y, so let's set up a system to manage that.
Exactly. That honesty builds so much more trust than some fake perfection. It sets real expectations and lets people work with you on a solution. It turns a hidden weakness into a manageable factor.
That's a huge shift. And as we navigate this world with all its flaws and chaos, Rule 6 reminds us to pause to appreciate small things amid the chaos.
Yeah, we're all conditioned to chase these big, grand goals, right? The big promotion, the perfect relationship. We think that's where happiness is.
But it's elusive.
It is. So the source points to these tiny, accessible moments. They list things like just pausing your mind or petting a street cat.
I love that example, the street cat. Why something so specific and almost random?
Because it forces you to be present. You can't pet a cat while you're also planning your next 5 meetings. It forces your mind to just stop, to engage your senses and connect with something simple and beautiful right now.
So wisdom isn't about figuring it all out.
No, wisdom is stopping. Stopping to appreciate that simplicity. Those small pauses, they reset your perspective and create more real happiness than the endless chase.
That simple reset is exactly what we need as we shift to our final segment, which is all about collaborative impact and communication. Let's jump right into Rule 8. Communicate clearly and directly.
Clarity is everything. It's the absolute foundation of successful collaboration. And the source introduces this principle it's vital. It's called the tight, loose, tight structure.
Okay, tight, loose, tight. That's so important it needs a clear breakdown. How does that actually work?
Okay, so imagine a team launching a new marketing campaign. First, the goals must be tight.
Tight, meaning?
Meaning the objective, say, generate 500 qualified leads in 3 weeks. Has to be crystal clear. Mutually understood. Zero ambiguity.
Got it. Clear goals. What's the loose part?
The methods must be loose. This is where you give people autonomy. You recognize that different team members have different skills. One person might be great at digital ads, another at content marketing.
So you give them the flexibility to choose their own path.
You do. You let them use their own expertise. But then, and this is key, the measurements must be tight again.
Ah, so it all ties back together.
Perfectly. While methods were flexible, the standards for success have to be precise and shared. You can't have one person measuring clicks and another measuring form completions. Everyone uses the same standard for those 500 leads.
Ambiguity really is the enemy of collaboration.
It's the biggest enemy. And if you have that clear system for success, you have to apply it to worthy things. Which brings us to Rule 7. Seek what has value, not what's easy and quick.
This feels crucial right now. We live in a world that just constantly rewards the easy and the quick.
We click, we scroll, we binge. But the source confirms what we all kind of know deep down. The stuff that comes easily, it rarely lasts. Sustainable happiness comes from meaningful effort.
But how do we practically distinguish between easy and valuable day to day? The valuable stuff is almost always harder.
It is. And the source offers a profoundly simple suggestion for this. Keep a daily diary.
The diary.
Yeah, but a specific kind. A diary where you only record how you've positively impacted other people's lives. This practice forces you to reflect. It shifts your focus away from what you consumed and toward what you contributed.
And that reflection shows you where the real value is.
It eliminates it. And that effort toward value, it's so heavily influenced by who is standing next to you, which is Rule 10. Surround yourself with people who want to see you succeed.
The quality of your friend group is a huge determinant of your quality of life.
It's a primary one. You have to associate with people who genuinely support your growth, but also, and this is crucial, people who challenge you when you need it.
So what defines a good friend in this context? It's not just someone who agrees with you all the time, real?
Absolutely not. A good friendship is a dynamic partnership. It's mutual giving and receiving. It's pushing each other toward goals and, importantly, actively celebrating each other's successes without a hint of resentment.
If a friend drains you or dismisses your goals,
Then they're an obstacle. They are actively obstructing the valuable life you are trying to build.
and finally, Rule 12 brings us all the way home to the idea of passing these foundations on. Teach children with discipline and love.
This is maybe the ultimate act of collaboration, isn't it? Raising the next generation. And parenting in this view is a rigorous balancing act.
You have to avoid neglect and spoiling.
But you also have to avoid being oppressively strict.
It's the combination that matters. You teach discipline, you teach structure, boundaries, all the tools for self-management, but you have to do it within a framework of unconditional love and acceptance.
Right. The ultimate goal is to raise someone who is capable, well-adjusted, and grounded in integrity, someone you're truly proud of. And that takes firmness, consistency, and affection, all in equal measure.
You know, what we've seen across all 12 of these roles, they're all interconnected. Consistency in one area, like integrity, it reinforces your ability to have self-compassion, which then makes you better at collaboration.
A better life isn't about changing everything all at once. It's about accepting that, yes, improvement is possible, and then just choosing one area to apply radical consistency.
So just pick one.
Pick one. I'd encourage you right now to just choose one of these 12 rules, whichever one really resonated, and put it into action immediately, today.
That is brilliant advice. And to leave you with one final thought, building on Rule 2, that the real competition is with your past self, and Rule 7, that meaningful things require seeking value over what is easy. Ask yourself this.
What's the question?
What small, genuinely difficult habit will you commit to today that ensures the person you are tomorrow decisively wins that competition? That is the exploration that guarantees true elevation.